Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Rhino, how are you?
What?
Oh, no Rhino this week, I guess. Mr. Nello, how you doing in the great white South?
Living the dream.
Oh, God. That's a bad
That's
set of
a bad
adjectives.
one. I wasn't sure what to say there. I got stuck. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
I know. I was like, Great White North, but we're as far south as you can get. Well, not really, but
No,
you know.
we're not
Anyway.
in Keys, but still, that didn't sound right.
Right.
Thanks for the intro. Appreciate
Sorry.
it.
It works.
Oh my goodness. How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. How are you, big guy?
I'm doing great. Excited for the show today. Got some, I don't know. You told us what your topic is for today, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is. And it's going to be great. And you know what? I even got a backup one just in case, we're feeling a little froggy. You want to go 2 for 2? I'm ready.
No, okay. Anytime you want to go. But I would just wanted to circle back to a couple of things I saw this week before we get into our topics per se. There is apparently a comic that discusses the fate of one Scarlet Witch,
Mm-hmm.
TVA number 4.
Ooh, do tell.
So apparently this is that's the run of the comics is TVA comics. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, typically it's a Spider-Man Venom. This is an actual comic based on the TVA, so it's called TVA, and this is issue 4. And it has a lot of the spider people going through the TVA, and one of them spots the Scarlet Witch and says, and I'm paraphrasing here, that looks like the one that's supposed to be dead, and it was supposedly crushed by a mountain. So that right there, if we're talking TVA and variants, that's pretty clearly Scarlet Witch, right?
Is it 5 or 4?
4.
5 has the Scarlet Witch on the cover.
Yeah, that's because they're looking for the Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
But 4 is the one that they mention her.
okay.
So what do we think about that? Now, here's an interesting thing. That's a fun theory because, Loki is at the TVA, or he is the TVA now. He's the god of stories sitting on the chair and all that. So you've got to imagine he sees the TVA.
Spoilers. I didn't know that.
Right? He's got to know something's going on there. And in the comics, who does Doctor Doom use to get away with a lot of stuff, and who has amnesia and doesn't remember anything? A certain Scarlet Witch. So is Marvel just kind of broad strokes hinting at the fact that that Doctor Doom knows about the TVA, the place outside of time, and that's how he goes to help stop a convergence, and he does it by getting a Scarlet Witch who is supposed to be dead and doesn't remember who she is?
It would make sense. He is one of the most powerful beings in this Marvel universe, so to
Right.
speak, right?
And that brings in why Tom Hiddleston would have to be involved in a Doomsday movie.
I don't know. It's still kind of weird. Like, we haven't gotten Doctor Doom in this MCU, really.
Right.
So
He's coming though.
to
I
just
think he's
throw
gonna
him
make
in
an
there like
appearance
that is
soon.
kind of weird. But
I've said this on the show before. I really hope Downey's Doom is just to set up the actual Doom. That, like, maybe he's there, he's doing something, and he's incredibly valuable to the team, and then they find out at the end that he's Victor Von Doom from their universe. Right? Like,
Right.
he deceives them or he lies to them, but he's still incredibly helpful. And they're like, that guy needs to join the Avengers. And then you show him putting on the Doom mask in Latveria and the 616.
I guess that could kind of make sense, but I don't know. I have a little faith in this Marvel chapter going through, and I've
Sure.
said it in every time we've talked about it. I think that the RDJ hiring is cheap, and not to sound, but even Rhino showed us some leaked photos of him.
Oh gosh, that was going to be my next topic, but go ahead.
And it's just like, really?
It looks like a painted black Iron Man armor suit with just a green cape on, and him having, and I'm not shitting you, Wizard of Oz hair,
Exactly.
looking like it is
It's just Green Magneto to me.
perfectly coiffed.
Almost like a Green Magneto. It was
If
really
that's the way they're
off-putting.
going, which I really, really hope they're not. Don't call this Doctor Doom, because then people are going to go out there and always think, oh, that's Doctor Doom. No. And that's why I think most of our chat was displeased with it.
Mhm.
I know we spoke in Discord a little bit. I didn't see any fans of it there either. Shout out to our Discord.
Mhm.
But it just doesn't look good. And that's to me, it's really important. If you know my heroes and you know what they're capable of, I'm not saying do copy paste and give me the same exact thing.
But you got to have something that is like, it looks, I don't know, it just didn't make me feel like a Victor Von Doom.
At
It
all.
just didn't, it
At
didn't
all.
resonate.
And
Let
then
me go
for
ahead.
me too is like, are they gonna make him a hero again? You said
No. That's my hope, is that Doom does what he needs to get away from this God Doom, this evil Doom that's
He
going to be
backdoors
downing.
as a good guy.
Exactly.
No, see, I don't want that.
But
You
Dr.
had-
Doom has done that several times.
But that's how he gets in. He's
I
always an
get it, but
anti-hero.
like it's still you see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, who was the hero who finished off the whole thing, right? In Endgame. To just have him come back
Was he?
again just feels kind of cheesy. Again, as the hero again, like, come on, can we get past
Oh,
that?
no. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I want the actual 616 Doom to pose as a good guy just to get the battle won, and then have that Doom not be the continuation that we know, so that the one that then turns his back on the heroes when they get
To
back,
achieve his overall goal.
right, they already know that he's extremely formidable because he's dealt with all of them. So and like that's the thing that to me, I was gonna say about Doctor Doom, him not wearing a mask, don't even do it then, because Doctor Doom always has that same classic metal mask over his face.
That's what I was gonna say. I want
When
the
he's
mask.
been the most formidable, when he's been the most resignating, when he's been the most intimidating,
Yeah,
and just the fullest part of his character, he always has that mask.
right.
And without it, he's just, I don't know.
And I don't think he's a throwaway in 2 movies character, Doctor Doom, because like we talked about the first saga of the MCU builds up nothing but Thanos being the end all be all. Sure, he only makes an actual appearance at the end,
But you still
variants of him.
But you built him up over movies.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
didn't just see him. You just saw this Thanos, and you kept
Right.
saying Thanos. And like in the
Bad
first
things-
movie,
bad things
waved
would
him
happen,
off.
and it'd be
They're
like,
like,
that's connected to Thanos, and you'd go, man, we keep hearing this dude's name.
What's up? What's up?
And then we see him show up in Guardians, and it's like the big bad guy is being told, don't mess with Thanos, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna fuck you up. And so then you finally get him. You already have this huge idea of him,
You built up all this
Right.
anticipation. Excuse me.
and he takes it from there. And so to just say, oh, by the way, this is a new villain named Doctor Doom, that to me seems cheap. I don't.
Not to
it's-
beat the horse again, but maybe the casting was wrong.
yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, I really hope that it changes, that's the way that they go, that there is an actual Doom that we're going to be getting, that they're shocking everybody with.
And his name is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, yes, please. He would be the absolute best Victor Von Doom of all time.
Yeah.
That's my ideal casting.
Can you do a battle world without the Hulk?
They haven't announced him, but there's no way he's not there. I saw an interview though the other day. They were like, we're trying to have to tamper down some of these super strong heroes.
See, I feel like you already did that, and that's one of the reasons like I'm not. They
They launched Hulk into space, and he just let
yeah,
it happen.
and he's just gone like
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta let the whole point of a superhero is that he's OP than over everybody,
Right.
right? And like if you dampen down all these powers, then they're really nothing more than just humans and capes.
Yeah, like honestly, that's when I saw the thing about Kate Bishop taking over or being the leader.
The
of
Young Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which
come on,
was
great,
announced.
just another person with no powers. Like I'm supposed to be watching superhero movies, not freaking Katniss Everdeen over
But
here
you-
in the MCU. Like, come on, bro.
I personally love the Kate Bishop character and what she's brought to the MCU. I think she could be a great leader of a team. That doesn't necessarily mean she's got to steal the show. That's like saying Bucky right now is is the team lead for the Thunderbolts, but everybody knows Yelena is the first build star.
Right, but like even in the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo's a leader, but he just comes out when he needs to.
He's
and
the
then,
quarterback.
and then he goes back and he lets them do their thing. So
Mhm.
maybe that could be a good thing.
That's what I'm saying is like Kate Bishop is not going to be as physically involved, maybe strategically, maybe for a few precise moments for her, but I don't think she's going to bear the brunt of that team, especially when we have rumored that it's going to be Wiccan and Speed and possibly Hulkling. You know what I mean? That's a lot of power at the end of the bat.
So for these young Avengers, though, you see that maybe this Kamala Khan can be in there, and so they're going to be street level. They're not going intergalactic.
Right. They typically handle the B-level heroes that
Okay.
the real heroes, like, you know what I mean? Like those young Avengers would take on something that normally just Captain America would
Okay.
take on,
Makes
or
sense.
just Iron Man.
Yeah.
This just Captain America ain't taking on nothing like that. But
Mhm.
you know,
You're right. He's got no powers. I think
No
that's going to
powers.
change, but
I hope it does. Honestly, I mean, it needs to.
yeah, to
mean,
make him more
besides that,
formidable.
Isn't there a new Werewolf by Night or something going on? Didn't they green light a new one? Or
I haven't heard anything with him, but I hope he's not lost because that
or is it Moon Knight? I was just reading some rumblings of something that could be coming back.
Moon Knight is rumored to be back in movies.
Oh,
Not in he's not getting a Moon Knight season 2 from what I understand.
really?
Yes,
Yeah.
it shouldn't. That was a drag,
Anyway, that's kind
in
of
my opinion.
where I was going with that is like you really need to have Doom be up at the forefront and be important because you don't like it's like benching your star player before he even starts, right? So like you don't know how good a Doctor Doom could be in the MCU and how consistent and how kind of ever present he could be whilst he can still be he doesn't have to be the focal point of every movie, but just
Right.
knowing that he's out there.
Always in the background, watching.
Right. And then every once in a while he shows up to either help or hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was like Claw when they killed him off in the Black Panther.
Black
I was
Panther.
like, why?
Yeah.
Get
Why
rid
so
of-
fast?
Yeah, get rid of so many good villains like right away, and it's like I don't understand that. You got to give yourself callbacks and be able to go back and actually, see these guys again multiple times and not just one and done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Especially because Claw was vital in Black Panther series.
Yeah.
And no, one time he's done. It's gonna take him to Wakanda, then he gets shot.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
I didn't get it, but it is what it is. But my topic for today that I just kind of wanted to round table with everybody is what makes a great superhero movie? Because lately, this last run, we've all been talking about it.
Oh man,
These things, they're not delivering as far as some of you are concerned, right?
I would say villain.
Fair to say. Villain definitely has suffered heavily. There has not been a good villain yet, other than Shang-Chi's father in this entire series to me.
Kingpin on and off. Thanos, obviously. Even I know everybody's got this hard on for Kang, but I even thought in Ant-Man he was good, but in other things, even in Loki, I just felt like I don't know, something was missing
Gotcha.
with a villain arc, or just like
So you think a captivating villain is more important?
well, you have to have that captivating villain to be like, oh, we got to get the team together because this guy is like, I guess Kang, was violent or whatever, but at the end of the day, there was just always one after the other. So it wasn't really like you were fighting Kang, you were fighting Kangs.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Where's that villain that you see? Like you hear Thanos, and in the build up to the Infinity Wars, you're like, damn,
Yeah.
Thanos is strong. Look at what he's
And
doing.
then he
Look what
shows
he's
up
doing.
looking the way that he does, and you're like, this
Exactly.
all makes sense.
Even in the Deadpool movies, you really don't have a clear villain.
That's why I don't really put them very high in my stock.
That's what I was gonna say. I think you need to have a good actual character and then make that movie interesting. I don't know how you do it. Sometimes you don't have to beat a dead horse over and over again. That's like why the Superman movie, like how many times you're gonna see him come from Krypton and do whatever. Like I don't need that. I
You don't
need
want
you to tell me
origin
an interesting
stories
story.
anymore.
And to beat Deadpool's was actually pretty interesting. His from when it started, you know what I'm saying? Him going and getting the surgery and all that stuff, and then he becoming Deadpool and not going and seeing his girl and all that, and then trying to go kill Francis, who's the guy who turned him. That's interesting to me. Like I think it just has to be entertaining and something that we can keep up with. And
But even in Deadpool, like the original, Francis wasn't a really good villain to begin with.
He was actually the
See,
the
that's the
villain
thing, though,
named
is-
Ajax, but they don't call him Ajax.
Yeah.
Well, they do, and then he calls him Francis because he
Yeah.
finds out what his real name is.
Francis.
But I don't know. I kind of I agree with both of you. Obviously, it's got to be compelling, but I think if you have an excellent leading man or a leading hero,
Yes.
if you will, that can help. But if that guy doesn't have anything to going against him, like if he doesn't have a formidable villain, he better have something that he's needing to deal with.
Right. So it's conflict. You need something to make sense for as in the show, right? Or in because
Right.
like what's the point of watching? Like I'll just take Hawkeye for instance. I liked it, but what were we watching? What were we accomplishing? And some of these shows that they're making, pushing out Echo and all this stuff, there's no clear villain. It's just like let's throw everything we can, fights and this and that, and then there's no story.
You know
Right.
what I would have rather seen instead of Hawkeye? I would have rather seen like a Ronin story about Hawkeye when his family disappeared and he started to become the Ronin. Like I would rather seen that than a Hawkeye TV show. Like that interesting, like sometimes the conflict with
They did
even good
sprinkle a
guys.
little bit of that Ronin in there, but they didn't give you what I think you were looking for. Maybe
No, he's talking about the broken down Clint
Like-
Barton who's going around just killing people.
Exactly. Like sometimes that build up, like you're talking about Thanos, like it's like John Wick. One of the coolest things I loved about John Wick was like you have all these movies where you have this guy and he's supposedly Billy Badass and blah blah blah. In this movie, like in John Wick, you by the way people behave, you can tell like this guy is that guy,
Right.
that fucking dude. And like one of my favorite scenes in a movie is when that I forget his name, Vigo.
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, when
No,
he's
wait,
talking
no.
to his
Oh, Vigo.
yeah.
Dude, I
When
thought
he's-
you meant the
No,
guy
no,
who
no,
plays
sorry.
Aragorn in
No,
Lord of the
his,
Rings.
I thought he was talking about the villain in Ghostbusters.
no, no.
I'm
I
like,
was saying-
what
What's Vigo?
His name's Vigo. I'm pretty sure it's Vigo.
Yeah,
But, like-
Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But like when he's talking to his son and he's explaining to his son, and just like that sheer conversation, it's just like, yo, this guy is a fucking beast, and I can't wait to see him do what he does. And like I think that's one of the reasons that made that movie also awesome too, is because you knew how badass this guy was. Yeah, we don't get that in a lot of these movies. They downplay a lot of people, so you're
Mhm.
not necessarily excited. Like the Hulk, when I saw that scene when he fights Thanos and he just absolutely gets manhandled by Thanos, I'm like, come on, bro, that's just the
But
worst.
that
thing. Like,
happens.
not like that.
Even
it
in the
don't.
comics, that
Not
happens.
like that, it
That
don't.
version of Hulk loses, but then was it King Hulk, or Old Man Hulk destroys Thanos in one of the, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you have that backwards. That's happening to Thanos right now. He's being called before King Thanos and shit like that. I don't know about that with the Hulk, but
Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
So besides villains and maybe no art, so like writers, so writing, could it possibly be that maybe the writers and writing and creators are getting a little too complacent with that same type of story arc and storyline, and they're not throwing anything new at the board? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
It could get stagnant if you keep writing the same crap over and over and over again. You want to see the heroes fall. You want to see the heroes come through adversity. If I'm going to watch a movie, and that's why I think I'm very biased with Superman, excuse me, he's the strongest thing that's ever happened. What's really going to take him out?
Mhm.
That's why I'm like, him as a hero, there is really what's his weakness besides the
Right.
green rock?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I've always said, like, to me, I think the coolest movie they could have ever made out of Superman would have been just to Run the Doomsday, where he just dies at the end. And
Yeah.
that's it. Like, that's the movie. Like, that actually, to
Well,
me, has more
that's what they
impact.
did in Batman versus Superman.
But they
And
brought him
everybody
back.
still thought that was bad. I thought
Like-
that was bad.
They brought him back. Like, I can understand that. My other thing that I would love to see is him be the bad guy after they kill Lois Lane. You know what I mean? And he's, you got
Evil
to try to
Superman.
stop this evil Superman.
Do you think you'll ever get that? I know we're going.
I don't
we're
think so.
hopscotching all
I
around
don't
between
think
DC
so.
and Marvel, but
Yeah.
So okay, so there's got to be a good villain or a good leading person, some sort of conflict,
and maybe good writing.
and some good writing.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think that's
I
a
mean-
great one. But like, are there some movies now that you're like, this probably shouldn't have been made?
Oh, freaking The Eternals. I still think that's absolute terrible.
I agree with him.
Should
that
shouldn't
movie
exist.
should have never
So
been made.
bad. So bad. I've never wanted 3 hours of my life back. So
Especially if
badly.
you're not using it for anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You made this movie, and it was supposed to be like a
think
building
I
block
think
to
them
your
being
universe,
as bad,
and then-
they're performing as badly as they did at the box office. That's what kept them from pushing the narrative even further, because Disney was like, "Oh my God, people hate this movie. Why did we do this? They hate it," because they got a really prestigious director. She was, I think, it was like a
See, and that's the thing to me. Just because you slap a good director's name on something, like who sat there, watched this, and was like, "Yeah, this is good. Let's release this."
Right.
Have you seen Minecraft
Like-
with your kids?
No.
No. Are you going to take them?
I've never seen anything
Do
Minecraft.
they
in my
play?
life.
Do you play?
I have never played Minecraft,
okay.
but I think they've played a couple times.
So I was talking to another friend of mine who took his family there, and these kids are loving this game.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense to people if you haven't seen it or played or haven't played the game or know anything about it. But these kids are loving it, and maybe it's a refreshing idea, and maybe, or possibly could like Marvel or DC learn something from this,
Like,
to freshen up their ideas, whatever they can take from it. Because if this is what people like and what they want to see now, could it be that maybe superhero movies and Marvel movies and DC movies could be at that stagnant point where if they don't change, maybe they could become obsolete?
I don't think they're becoming obsolete with how much money's invested in Disney and Marvel and all the stuff that they bring.
I mean, but they are losing money on them.
Over time, if you keep taking L's, you have to change.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think them trying to go around the same path and try to, I said it before, like that whole board with all the things that they're trying to connect to make this whole big old world, instead of just giving us good single movies. You know what I mean? Just give me a cool Deadpool movie. I got that. That's awesome. Now, if you're going to do X-Men, just give me an X-Men movie. That's good. Then give me the Fantastic Four. I don't need a bunch of movies with a bunch of cameos and this over here and that over here and this. It becomes too much. And the TV show in between, I don't have that kind of time anymore. And honestly, it's all starting to get a little played. It's all the same. It's like, oh, okay. Yep, you're going to do this. And then everything's going to be okay because everybody's going to win.
Maybe like a one-off story, like he says. Everybody comes together to fight one villain, even if you split it into 2 movie arc, but it ends there. Because sometimes, like Ryan was saying, like, oh, you need to watch Echo in order to understand what Daredevil's doing, and then with Daredevil, it's the Kingpin, and then the Punisher. Like, it becomes too many moving parts, and then it just gets diluted.
You know what they really should have done? They really should have ended the MCU movie should have ended in Infinity War. That should have been it. And
well,
then
the problem is you've already developed all these characters that live on this planet.
Well-
So now when the problem you get is you split them up, and you mentioned 2 huge teams in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Like, how are you supposed to have important events, world-ending events, without these teams showing up now that you know that they're there? It's always so fucking awkward. So I don't mind that these guys can share the screen together. It's just, there needs to be a reason.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like now you don't in the MCU we've never had the X-Men, right? So you're gonna try to throw them in there. Like I keep saying, one of the biggest points that I harp on a lot is in the MCU, one of their biggest characters in the Scarlet Witch is Magneto's daughter. You can't just jump that whole thing and then be like, oh yeah, no, she's awesome.
But they
and
technically
see her.
don't, right? Because Quicksilver is his son,
And
and
he's
he kind
dead,
of
but, like,
mentions it.
Yeah, but where's Magneto? Like, you mean to tell me that his son died on Slovenia, and Magneto didn't go wreck unholy hell? You know what I mean? Come on, who's believing that? You know what I mean? He already hates humans as it is. You kill one of his kids, and I'm pretty sure the world is going to feel that pain. I don't know. I think
you're not incorrect, but
No, it's
that's yeah. I think they're gonna play that off of in this universe. I'm not their parent. You know what I mean? Who
see,
knows?
And that's such a cop out. Like I said, I think it should have ended in Infinity War. They should have taken their time, did it the way it should have been done, introduced Adam Warlock, undid everything, and then you could have built from there. But when you made freaking Iron Man the hero, wrapped it up in a tiny, beautiful bow, and boom, that's it. And now you're trying to start something else again.
I don't know, man.
Who cares?
And by the way, Adam Warlock is now second fiddle to Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon on a makeshift Guardians team. How do you feel about that? I know he's your boy.
Man, I don't know. I still like Rocket over freaking Adam Warlock anyway. So
I think they dropped the ball with Adam Warlock too in Guardians.
I think that's the
I'm
only
curious
thing-
to see what's going on with Sentry too. There was a little sneak peek as to what he would look like, what he wouldn't, like a shadow figure.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know. They got to wow me, otherwise they're going to lose me, and that's just the truth.
Sure.
Like, I just want them to honestly go to freaking Sony. Like, yeah, listen, here's the war chest. What do you want? Just give me Spider-Man.
And Kingpin.
Everything that comes with it, just give me Spider-Man. Like, and then I want them to build off of that. Do that, because that's one of the good things that you still have going that hasn't been messed up.
But a
yet.
good Spider-Man movie with a
Um,
Kingpin villain would be amazing.
Yeah, and D'Onofrio came out and said that he can't appear in movies right now because of the rights.
Because
and,
of the
Yeah.
like he's all
Sony.
caught up in legal.
So bring me Spider-Man to the fucking Spider-Verse and Disney realm. Then
Yeah, I don't know why Sony hasn't just gone. Okay, we get it. We
we
don't,
want
we don't do
25%
these well."
of the money you make, which is still more money than they would make in the movies they made.
I don't disagree.
Did Craven get released in theaters?
Yes, it
Okay.
did.
for about 2.5 days. And then no, it was
I can't
around-
even watch it on Netflix. I know it's on there. I can't even
Is
watch
it?
it there.
I don't
No.
know. I haven't seen it.
I have no interest in watching it. I might watch it just because if I get bored, you never know.
Yeah,
Things happen.
I've been there.
Like, I'm like, I'll watch this Morbius. Why?
Yeah,
What?
Morbius.
You knew going into this, Glady, that you weren't gonna like this, and yet you
Yeah.
still did it. Oh well, sometimes we do it for
That's why now I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna see this.
yeah, and that's honestly that's why sometimes you guys get on me about watching them. I'm like, bro, there's nothing in that.
You can't say
seems
that
good.
because you have a default setting of I'm not.
Oh, I'm not
that.
watching.
Yeah,
this.
as soon as you're like, I ain't watching this shit. Like, you don't even give it a chance. You just like,
no,
not
that's not
today.
true. That's not true.
That is true.
No, it's not.
Oh,
How many
because-
times have we told you about Daredevil and you still haven't watched
I
it?
still haven't watched Daredevil because that is still your opinion. I am still of the mind. Did you see that video I sent you in the chat the other day?
Which one?
Oh, about the Daredevil and him just being a crippled and a blind guy in spandex.
No, I'll
Oh.
look it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I sent you that, but like that's how I feel. I'm still trying to work through the Punisher, which is good. I just honestly haven't sat down and spent the time to watch it.
Yeah.
But
I haven't.
yeah, I do watch some things, and then some things that matter of fact, Skeleton Crew from Star Wars. I
Mhm.
sat down and tried watching that. First couple episodes, absolutely horrible. I don't know what that
Absolutely
was.
horrible.
No way, man. It was good. I enjoyed it. I love that droid. I love that droid. And Jude Law is so good.
Yeah.
didn't grab it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but some of the other things you told me about, I've watched and I've loved. So
Did you watch Last of Us?
No, I forgot that
absolutely.
that came out on Sunday.
I haven't watched. I'm waiting.
Did you see that episode?
Oh, I am so wait. I have to. I
Oh.
gotta have all that at one time, bro. Because when I watch that, I'm watching it all. There is no. Oh yeah, no. Let's watch an episode, and I can wait till the next week. Nah, I ain't built like that. Not anymore. You're gonna give me all 8 of those, and the wife was like, "You want to rewatch it again?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'll probably-
Apparently something crazy happens
I'll
in this
probably
episode,
do
but
that.
I don't know what. I haven't seen it. And like I
Huh.
said, I need the binge.
That first episode of that show was such a gripping piece of television, and it's crazy to think that it's been a video game for years. And that's
Decade,
the
I
exact
think.
scene.
Yeah.
And so that's another one, man. Maybe some of these narrative games deserve a chance to tell a story or two.
And
But
it's
you
working. Like I said,
have to-
Minecraft is working, but you had to have played the game.
Yeah.
Although
see,
with The Last of Us, that's technically not true. People are understanding it
Mhm.
because it's still an apocalyptic series and situation because they're so used to like the Walking Dead type shows.
yeah, but Minecraft. I mean, I even kind of wanted to watch it. Jack Black on the screen. I'll watch anything with Jack Black and it being goofy. Bored.
And your big boy Jason Momoa.
yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about that movie, surprisingly, because typically I don't get any kind of stuff like that. But a lot of people have been asking me if I've seen Minecraft. My buddy Hayden told me that the Jason Momoa character reminds him of me.
Yeah.
That alone should make you just go watch it.
No,
I can
they're
see
not
that.
getting my
What?
money.
But The Last of Us was just chef's kiss. Like so good. So
Yeah.
good. And I don't even care for the video game like that much. Like I
What?
tried playing it.
That video game was amazing.
It was probably amazing in 2013. Trying to play the game in 2023, it was not good. And I put it down. I tried and it was not good. So, but what I will say though is that opening scene is exactly where I quit off in the game. So when freaking The Last of Us opened up, I've said this before, it played out just like I had just got done playing, and I'm like, yo, I have to watch this now.
Yeah,
Speaking
So-
of games that you've been playing, I'd like a Monster Hunter update. Are you done?
I haven't played Monster Hunter in 2 months or 2 weeks. So,
So
and
you-
it's not because I don't like it. I just haven't played anything.
oh, you just
Other
haven't had
than-
time.
Yeah, honestly, I've sat down, I jumped on with the boys and ran a few rounds of Warzone, and that's it. That's all I've had to
Do you
That's
run
all
when
I've
you
done.
run Warzone? Do you run the regular? Or do you run casual?
What do you mean?
There's 2 modes now.
I don't know. Whatever they.
I
throw us
feel like
into.
the try hard Warzone, the original regular,
Oh,
is
yeah, that's what we
boring.
play.
That's terrible. But the casual is just more fun, and I enjoy this casual Warzone a lot better than the try hard. I'm gonna snipe you from 19 feet away. Good luck trying to run out of not cover.
Bro, you sound like
And
you're
that
trash.
sounds boring. Yeah, you're
Get
right.
good,
I am
kid.
trash at
Get good,
Warzone,
kid.
but you can't like. Everybody's got a sniper. Everybody's sniping. Oh, I'm gonna run to get a case. Dead. Spawn dead. Spawn dead. This is fun. This is a great game. Get
good,
outta
kid. That's all I'm
here.
gonna say. You better have the boys on it to buy you back
Casual is where it's at.
when you're ghoulie and get back in it.
The who?
But,
I always
Gulag.
found that when I did find another player, they were really good
Right.
in the casual. So I think the casual is just a fucking tease. It's let people know that's where the food is.
Oh, this
So
is
if you want to go practice on some people who are not trying to sweat, get in here.
It's the kitty game. It's the kitty. It's the kitty table. But I love sitting at the kitty table. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. And then every once in a while,
You hit
you'll run across a try hard and be like, dude, I'm just trying to have fun, man.
exactly. You move up to the adult table. You get bitch slapped down. You're like, you know what? Casual it is. I'm good. Thank you.
we were just bored of playing Marvel Rivals. Come
Yeah,
on.
we were just
What are we
bored of
doing?
competitive. We figured we'd come over here and slap the shit out of you.
I will say this: Warzone just wakes up beasts in people because you're just like, how did you do that? Impossible! Oh my god! And you just start yelling at your controller, and it just makes you want to quit.
I mean, if you see some of these guys in the hours and the time that they put in playing this game,
Could
it's,
you
know,
imagine sitting there and
Like-
then like,
I just
And-
imagine this one being on proximity chat and swearing at him in
oh
Italian.
my god,
bro. And it's weird because like it's one of those things. Like now I'm 40. Like, bro, when I was 22, 23, that was me all day. Like playing Modern Warfare,
Yeah.
Call of Duty, just wrecking kids.
you can't do that anymore in the
Doing shit.
lobbies. You'll get blocked and banned. Your account will get
Oh, I'm not even
destroyed.
talking about just talking
Imagine-
shit. I mean, just literally good at the game.
Do
Like
you-
my boy would sit there and watch me before streaming was a thing. He'd just sit there and watch me play. Like, bro, how did you do that? I don't know. I've just been playing Call of Duty since
Yeah.
it's come out, bro. Like, and you just know where people are gonna be. You know how to move. Done. But I don't know. Now that I'm 40, it's like, bro, my thumb's not working the way
Right.
they used to, bro.
My thumb's
Come on.
not working.
I'll be paranoid because I'll be playing Fortnite or something, and then one of the boys will go, "He's right there," and I didn't see anybody. I'm sitting there like, "Fucking, you see what? He's where?" And then eventually, either they're like, "Oh, sorry, that was just me," but sometimes they spot somebody old eagle eyes in there.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And then you got the times where me, it's like, what are you doing? Here comes Leroy Jenkins. I'm
Mhm.
just jumping in, trying to take on a squad of 4. Why did you push that? I was bored.
yeah. See if I could do it.
Seemed like the thing to do at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a little DC news that I just pulled up. So you got a look into what Jimmy Olsen looks like in the new movie.
Okay.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Does he look
sure.
like a white guy with brown hair?
No.
I
no, I think he's a red-headed black chick.
yes. How did you know? That's crazy. He is the character. I don't know the name of the guy.
Did you
but
send it in the
yeah,
chat?
I did. I sent it in the StreamYard. He's the guy from the Righteous
Oh.
Gemstones.
Yeah, which
The
one?
kid, the son, who goes out and tries to be a stuntman in LA. It's a pretty good
Hey,
casting.
he is a white kid with brown hair. I was right.
It's actually a pretty good casting, believe it or not.
Yeah, it looks pretty generic, just like any
I mean,
other.
he's a white kid. He's a
dude.
white boy that takes pictures of Superman. So
Yeah.
it makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
he's just catching a giant squid out of space. Where's Jimmy? Come take a picture of Superman, huh?
Now, here's actually one of the things that I was thinking about bringing up was with James Gunn now being the head of the DC and the way that Marvel has seemed to have been kind of slipping and falling. Do you think he can turn it around for DC comparatively to Marvel?
I don't think DC will ever catch Marvel. I think they will start to put out a
I'm not saying
on par or
necessarily.
better product.
That's what I was saying. I mean, not necessarily catch, but then people be like, you know, I don't care about that Marvel movie, but that new DC movie, I'd rather go
Right.
see that.
I don't know. Lobo doesn't look good in those pictures either. Of those,
I thought he
those
looked
set
great.
pictures.
to be
Really?
honest. Plus, CGI is a huge thing. It's out of
Especially for a
context.
character
Yeah, who
like
knows
that.
what it's going to be? But I loved it. I thought he looked great. Made me forget what I was going to say.
Sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, Lobo looks great. But that's what I was gonna say is that DC has more characters that are damned and have flaws and have issues because I don't know. I feel like those guys get their ass kicked a lot more than the guys in the Marvel universe.
Can I tell you, I want a second Constantine so
Hold your breath and then breathe,
bad.
because otherwise you'll die. I doubt you're going to see that movie.
I want another Constantine, man.
I think Keanu wants it too.
Like, to me,
Do we
like-
really need it? Do you really
Yes.
need it?
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Yes. Honestly,
Why?
Constantine
Okay.
is an incredible movie.
I'm a
Because-
WB executive. Explain to me why you need Constantine.
Because I mean, you also got to think about it. One of the last things that he did in that movie was he thought he was going to die, and he goes, "Oh no, you're not getting off the hook." And the devil himself
Hold
was
on.
like, "Here
Yeah.
you go.
Hold on. So
You're
you're the
still going
executive.
to live."
Yes, I am.
All right. What's the name of your company?
WB
WB. Okay.
Warner Brothers.
Nello, how you doing? I hope you enjoyed the Subway I had catered to this event to talk
Thank
to
you very
about
much. It was delicious.
Constantine too.
I don't eat meat though, so thank you for the non-veggie. We've already started on a bad foot, but please.
Okay, no, it's all right. Just eat the fish, pussy. So
Little double entendre there.
I'm gonna say that you know,
Did you just use the word pussy?
Constantine is going to be that dark character which you have a A-lister in Keanu who already knows he himself is an attraction. If you attach him to it, he's going to get people in the seats. You also have a successful first movie in which they loved him as that character, so you feel like you're living in that same universe and you're getting that supernatural devils versus angels kind of style comic with you're breaking curses and fighting demons and things of that nature, as opposed to always being, you know, Martian men or some.
What's going to be the difference
merchant.
between Constantine and Sandman? We've already tried it.
Oh,
and
so
it
this is what
didn't-
you're gonna
and
do.
it failed.
So Mark Wahlberg, he's not doing nothing. So we're gonna have a Max Payne Constantine mashup.
Oh Jesus!
with Super Mario is going to be there too.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think it's just Constantine's just much better.
What about a Mario Brothers show?
There, you can't afford that.
Really?
You can't afford Charlie Day and Chris Pratt doing that show,
Not even
or the young lady who plays
Peach.
or Jack Black.
What if you did Wario? What if you didn't use main characters and you did like a spin-off of like Wario and how an alternate universe Mario is actually an evil villain and Bowser is the good guy? I don't know. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah,
Listen, I
that
know-
is dumb. You're right.
This
But-
Constantine thing is dying.
I understand
guys.
you're the exec, but Mario, we're talking about Constantine. Here. What are you doing?
yeah.
Well, you just brought in Max Payne and his painkillers. So where are we? We went from supernatural to
Max Payne is supernatural. Have you ever seen Max Payne?
he's a
No.
human being who
Oh, you've never seen Max Payne?
No.
It's still kind of got the same weird concept. If I'm mistaken, where like you see like the devils and bad things coming through. That's why I said it. So yeah, same thing.
Gotcha.
yeah, not the same thing though.
Mark Wahlberg playing the guy. You know what I mean?
No,
Mark
but-
Wahlberg,
but
Keanu
Keanu's
Reeves.
enough of a drive to get you there himself.
But are people willing to like? People are already getting fed up with
Yes.
superheroes. You want to go supernatural demons and angels type stuff,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you think that would be a bigger draw?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I think there is definitely a niche group for it. And if
But we
it's
never got a
superhero thing-
Spawn too either.
We're not talking about
First
that. We're
Spawn
talking about
was
Constantine.
terrible.
And yeah, I was gonna say, you tell me if that Spawn movie performed as well as Constantine did.
Well, it did not. I'm just throwing out the movies that have that supernatural ish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
Keanu. You had what, Rachel Weisz, Shia LaBeouf. Pretty good movie.
Digimon Hansu
Yeah.
as Papa Midnight.
Yep.
I read D'Onofrio wants to
That's
play
a-
Swamp Thing.
That's a crazy Vincent D'Onofrio.
Wants
he
to
was
be
so
Swamp
good in that
Thing.
movie,
He
too.
wants to be Swamp Thing.
Please no,
That's what he said.
unless you're gonna do all prosthetics.
He wants to go DC.
I don't
and he
want him
wants
to come
be
out and go,
Swamp
I can save the brain. I could protect the swamp. Vanessa.
Thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so.
I don't know. I would pay to see another Constantine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I almost spoiled
In a
the
heartbeat.
Daredevil.
Like what has it been? 20 plus years, I think it's been since that movie's been out.
I'll check for you.
Constantine?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Which
But
I mean,
that scene with him and Rachel Weisz in the street as the lights are going out.
20 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2005,
I was gonna
February
say exactly 20
18th,
years.
2005.
Wow.
20 years and they can't get anybody to sign up to get a second one.
I don't think it would necessarily
and
have
20
anything to
years
do
is
with that.
enough for Constantine to know he's ready for heaven
Mhm.
and prove that he belongs there and damn himself again and need to try to find another gambler's way out of going to hell.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's why you can have a lot of things that could have happened that have even brought him out of the light, or, you know, are threatening everybody's souls or what have you, and have that Constantine still need to be involved.
You guys have convinced me. I'm greenlighting your movie.
Thank you.
It might be a fresh idea that
Thank you.
would be different.
Thank you. We
You
will
know?
be taking the subway home with us when we leave. Whatever has not been eaten will
I
be
already told you I'm
packaged.
a vegetarian.
You know what
Oh,
I thought about sometimes too is seeing the movie from a different perspective, Tim. It's like, what is it? Have you seen like the new John Wick movie? It's
No.
technically not a John Wick movie. I think it's like the-
Cinderella or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think is what it is. Where
Oh,
it's
the show
actually
with Anna de Armas.
No, I think it's actually another movie.
I think
it's
I
like,
think it's a show. The Ballerina is one.
that's what it is. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
But yeah, and so she's doing her thing and doing whatever. And then you got like John Wick who shows up, and then it's like, hey, consequences. And
They're basically going to make a team up of all these guys coming together, and then in 10 years, it's going to be the Expendables, the new version.
that's the
Mm.
thing is, I don't think it is. I don't think that's how that's going to end. I don't think John Wick shows up and people live or walk away. So,
Baba Yaga.
good old
All
Boogie,
right.
man.
Well, let's go ahead and jump over to Nello for his. What's your?
All right, here we go. Here
What's
we
your
go.
conspiracy?
Here we
Let's
go.
round it out
Yeah.
right here.
It's not really a conspiracy, but did you know that researchers in Harvard took the DNA of an American composer who died in 2021?
Oh my god!
Wait, yeah, I ain't even finished. I haven't even gotten there.
All
yet.
It
right.
already sounds ridiculous.
It already sounds so cockamamie.
No, it's not. It's actually crazy. So they've taken this tissue.
That's what ridiculous.
So
it
they've
is.
taken this tissue, and this tissue has grown into like a clump of cells. They've attached it with electrical impulses to different rhythms. This tissue constantly makes new rhythms. This brain, I know it's fucking nuts. I'm not saying it's not crazy, but they did an experiment where they took this guy, Alvin
Hey,
Lucier.
we found Jesper
DNA.
Lucerson's. He was a famous flautist. We found his genes. Let's go ahead and
He's in a famous
let's
composer
go
who died,
rebuild this guy.
It sounds like a straight South Park episode.
but they didn't rebuild him. They
It
just
sure
clumped,
does.
they clumped his DNA, made
And they
made
get
like
somebody
a
who can't
tissue.
even fucking play a banjo. So
But
psyched
this guy's
to
a real
bring back this
composer.
musician. They find out the musician sucks.
He wasn't good at all.
God damn it!
He just wanted to be a musician and never actually played.
Yeah. Oh my
exactly.
No, but seriously, he's an American famous musician, a composer,
Uh huh.
and now this blob of tissue or this blob of brain they created out of nowhere just sits there all day and creates different rhythms. So my question to you is this. Well, you didn't even let me you didn't even let me finish the question. You're just laughing without even hearing
Hey,
it.
we're here for it.
Oh,
It's so ridiculous already.
but it's true, man. It happened. Could we, if we were to take our DNA, muddle it all up, right, and put
Uh-huh.
it in a petri dish, and then it creates like a form of flesh or a brain, and we attach electrodes to it, could we create the Alter Ego podcast that never ends? It just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and like
Wow.
I would say the craziest stupid shit. You would say the funniest. This guy would just keep saying, I ain't watching that shit. I ain't watching that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still crazy to think that just with blood, with the small form of DNA, they created a tissue that just constantly creates rhythm. It doesn't communicate. It doesn't do anything. It just creates different sounds
So
and rhythms.
Rhythm. What is that? Allegedly,
Like
that's
doom, doom, doom. Watch it be a Puerto Rican gene, and all they hear for all of eternity is doom, that, doom, that, doom.
It just it just creates beats like that with beating these different chords on this electrically charged.
Wait.
instrument.
What's beating these chords?
This little tissue? It sends an impulse to each thing, and it creates a new music. It's creating music constantly, 24 hours a day. New rhythms, new rhythms, new rhythms. That's all this does.
God, it would make it so much better if they were a terrible musician, right?
So you could
They're just
live,
looking at the notes, going, "What is this motherfucker
so it's
doing?"
basically
It's-
living
it's-
forever without living forever, because as long as they have your DNA, they can bring you back into some form.
That's not
how that works.
at all. Yeah.
it's not how any of this works.
But apparently, according to Harvard, that is how it works.
Oh, I'm just supposed to believe it because it's Harvard.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say the same thing. There have been some absolute morons that have gone to Harvard.
Listen, we are going to create something with this DNA and genetic testing that We probably don't even know what it'll be, human
Sure.
or machine or a chimera. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, somebody died. They created a tissue
Bro, that's crazy.
with his
I'd love
blood
to see that.
and sends like electrodes to
Mhm.
make music. And that's what he did.
Part lion, part griffin, part snake.
Oh my God.
Drops down and asks me a riddle, and I have to answer it.
Right. And if you don't,
I'm going to share another link with you because you know what? You guys are just you're not on board with the tissue being created. I want to show you guys, and you tell me what you think. If we go back to our alter ego chat right there's a link of UFOs that they spotted in Russia.
oh boy.
So, give it a click and just tell me what you
I will
think.
click nothing on this laptop.
I think
Here, I'll show you on this one. You can look on mine. What the hell do you think that is?
you didn't send me
A drone.
That's not a drone. It's spinning around, creating propulsions
A drone.
creating propulsion.
in a circular motion.
A drone.
No way.
That shit
And
looks
it's so
drone as-
clear. There's no way that's a goddamn
That
drone.
shit looks drone as fuck.
No way. And it's in Mother Russia, which means that the Ginyu
Even
Force
more
is
reason
real.
for it to be a drone.
The Ginyu Force is definitely not real.
Did you see last week's article? It is everywhere. It's a CIA declassified. So now my question to you is this: if we're seeing this crazy stuff, maybe those drones we were seeing in New Jersey might actually be some sort of alien life that's come to visit us.
I'm going to
Maybe
go ahead and say
They were a musician cells with electrodes stopped to them.
That keeps
Making
playing
rhythm.
music 24/7
That was
and doesn't get
controlling
tired.
The UFO or whatever it is, the unidentified flying phenomenon, whatever you call it.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah, that.
UAP, please, and thank you.
Yeah, that's. Listen,
How do you describe all this crazy stuff that's going on between science and
graphic
like
design.
Jesus? Come on, it can't all be fake.
I'm just saying.
have you met the internet?
Right. And
The
why
internet is undefeated.
why would no major media publication want to talk about that if it was 100% real?
What do you mean?
What did I say?
Why? What do you mean that 100% real? No, like I don't get it. I'm trying to figure out what you mean. I can't get this.
Like, if it was
I can't
100%
get this.
real, everybody be talking about it.
Right.
Everybody in their
It's
That's
in a
why-
Popular Mechanics. The guy created Dead Clump of Cells. The alien video. Okay, I get it. Maybe it's a drone, but the clump of cells being created. That's crazy. They've created life out of just this guy's blood.
It's not
No,
life.
but it's still just a clump.
It's
of
alive.
cells.
It's alive and it's creating rhythms. Whether
No,
it's
what
like conscience or not,
constitutes alive.
yeah.
it's sending electrodes to different the different electrically charged sounds, and it's creating rhythms. It's creating new beats. It's creating new music. It's just a
hold
clump
on.
of
Imagine
cells.
being the scientist that has to sit and monitor this shit. all
Or
day.
listen to the crazy shit that
He's
this
just
thing is
gotta
producing.
watch, and he's just there. You know, they basically want him as a glorified babysitter,
Boop,
but he's
boop,
yeah,
boop, boop, boop,
and he's
boop.
like, Jesus Christ, make it stop!
And then
This thing's
that's
been
just
doing
like,
smoke on the water for 72 hours.
do you take requests?
Yeah.
Can you play
Shut the
me
fuck up.
Over the Rainbow, please? Just a new one.
He's just
I-
screaming at the cells.
It's
Green
still-
Day,
Shut
you're
the
not
fuck up.
real.
It's still fascinating.
Green Day, or you're not real,
It's still fascinating to think they took blood and just created a clump of cells that did
right?
something.
And they chose this guy.
They chose him, or he chose them. I'm not sure, but they're using him.
When I die, I would like for you to see if you can extract cells.
I want to live forever.
I just imagine the
Exactly.
conversation. He came to.
What is it? The freaking
I must
scientist guy from whatchamacallit, the guy from South Park, the scientist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's
the
it.
guy
That's
with the
all I'm
coat.
saying. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. He did the yellow
just going up to the scientist. I would like for you to extract some fluid from my spine and try to recreate a clump of cells. I wish to live forever.
I don't
It's
want to
just like,
die.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, that'll be $20
And so
million.
they're working this piece of rotisserie chicken. Yeah, that's him. He's still at it. The old
That
rat.
old guy still making beats. Look at him dropping beat. Oh my god!
Wow.
We
my
went off the
goodness.
rails
Yeah,
hard.
we went off the rails on that one, but totally viable. to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's gonna happen.
I downloaded RoboCop. It's one of the free games of the month on PlayStation.
Mhm.
It's as bad as you thought it would be. It's
Yeah.
as bad as the game is.
I just love that we're talking about that, and RoboCop is essentially that.
Oh my gosh. That is so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So Alan, if you're out there, you're the starting experiment
yeah.
for the RoboCop.
Thanks, Alan.
You know, the other thing I remember about RoboCop as a kid when you had the the dude was trying to like to assault the lady, and then like he shoots her in the balls. Like that's the only part that I remember from RoboCop.
And so
I think I remember every movie where somebody got shot in the balls.
So the chick chews the gum and does the bubble.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a crime scene in the office building, and she just walks up, chews a gum bubble, and pops. He's like, "I guess I shouldn't do that here, hon." And then just look at him like, "There's dead bodies everywhere. What are you talking about?"
Oh my God. All right, gang, that's going to do it for us here at the Alter Ego Podcast. I am Jack, Ryan, Nello, Rhino. Oh, well.
He's at Harvard watching The Experiment.